Hey folks, it's Teresa from Stringfield Ridge Farm. I thought I'd do a Saturday vlog. It's been a long time since I've done a Saturday vlog, and we've got a lot of things going on and just not time to video each and everything. So that's when it's good to have a Saturday vlog. A lot of it, we do a lot of ours on the weekends, so a little bit of it maybe Friday afternoon, Saturday, even into Sunday a little bit. And so every once in a while, I may not do it every week, but every once in a while, I'm going to start back to doing a Saturday vlog just to kind of show the tidbits of things that we have done on the weekend. And so right now, I am making some homemade lye soap. I'm going to be selling some at our old-fashioned Heartland Homesteaders old-fashioned picnic in September. And if you don't know about that, you can look that information up on the Heartland Homesteaders Facebook page. And we have an Eventbrite there that you can sign up for free tickets just to let us know you're coming. And I'm going to be selling some of my soaps and probably, no, not probably, and I will put a couple of them in the door prize giveaways. We're going to have a whole bunch of we're going to have a whole bunch of door prizes and a few raffles. So some of my homemade soap will be in the door prizes. I'll probably package that together with something else, or 2-in-1 bundle. Probably maybe like with a soap and a scrubby and something else, you know, like a package deal. You won't just get one soap. I also have a local shop that wants to sell some like local crafts and things in her shop, and I've got to get some made up. She's going to let me sell some of my soaps and different things there. We're probably going to sell some of Lee's Native American crafts that he does and stuff like that. And one thing will be my homemade lye soap, and she's been asking me about it, so I got to get some made up. And that's what I'm working on right now. And Lee is up there right now picking some green beans so that we can can some green beans today. Last night I canned tomatoes, but I didn't video any of that. See, there we go. That's how we do. Anyway, so I'll show you what I've got going on with the so far with the soap. So first off, I've got my lard going, heating in here, and I've got my water that I'm going to put my lye in here in just a minute. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have left that spoon in there. You have to be a little careful with the lye. You don't want to get it everywhere. That spoon has some on it, so I'm going to leave it there. You don't want to use like aluminum or anything, so certain metals kind of interact with the lye. So I use glass bowls and plastic spoon. Here's my scale. I measured out. I'm doing a double batch. My batch actually calls for 3 ounces of lye, but I'm doing a double batch, so it's 6 ounces of lye, and it's 8.5 ounces of water for a regular batch, so I've got 17 ounces here of water. Let's see what else. Okay, and I've got my emulsion blender and my various different molds. And I do have some rubber gloves I will put on in a minute. I don't like to touch this too much, but let me tell you, it's not as scary as you think. Definitely not as scary as a lot of people think. I actually watched Tara at Living on a Dime one time. She was making lye soap, and she took and rubbed some on her skin for just a minute, just to show that it's not just gonna burn your skin off. She put some on her skin to prove that, and she let it sit there just a minute, and then she washed it off and was like, no big deal. Okay, so don't be scared of making lye soap. It will not burn your skin off. The main thing, the worst thing I have found about the lye soap is that if you grab a dish towel to wipe some up, it will probably eat through your dish towel even if you go wash it and you don't get it all out. And I have ruined several dish towels by using them to wipe up afterwards. So you don't want to do that. What I usually do, I guess you could use paper towels. I usually grab an old rag that's a has-been like this. This is the end off of a towel that the towels start coming apart. And I could even cut that in half and use half of that. And I will use that to wipe up afterwards and then throw that away. So, or you could use, you could use old rags, like tear up some old t-shirts that are raggedy, or, something like that. That's what I would do to clean up after you make lye soap, because if you grab your good dish towels and wipe up, it will eat through your dish towel even if you wash it out right away. Maybe if you got it put in the laundry right away, but I wouldn't even suggest that, because I have ruined a lot of dish towels even after I thought that I got it washed out, but then after 2 weeks later the dish towel starts falling apart. Now, if that's same maybe with your clothes, if you spill some on your clothes, probably 2 or 3 weeks later you're going to have a hole in your clothes, or it's going to get thin enough to rip, to tear. So that's the only problem I've had with the lye soap. Getting it on your skin, it is not going to burn your skin off. Maybe, now you don't want it in your eye, but I wear glasses, so I don't worry about that. You don't want to splash some in your eye. That would, that would burn like anything else. So I do put on my plastic gloves before I start mixing that. Like I said, Lee is up there getting green beans, and there's my jars ready for my green beans. Now, I'm careful with this. Y'all are probably like, oh, you've got that lye next to your green bean jars. I am very, very, very careful with this. I have not splashed this all over everything, and when I mix it, I will take my bowl and put it down in my sink and then put my lye in it. And you also always want to put your lye in your water. Anyway, you want to have good ventilation when you're making soap too, so always turn on all the ventilation and maybe even open a door, good ventilation so you don't breathe it. And that's about it. No big deal to making homemade lye soap. I do have a video on making homemade lye soap. I will link that in the description, and I will also put the recipe down in this description below. You can find the link to my other video of making homemade lye soap, and you can find the recipe. Alright, I'm fixing to sit down here at the table and snap some of these green beans. This is about half of them, and then I've got about that many more in the sink. And I'm going to snap these and then get these canning. And Lee's out there mowing the yard. Yeah, it seems like he mows the yard off a lot, don't it? Half of my videos, he's mowing the yard in the background. And I've got my good girl Moonshine. I have a video on that too. There's some of the soaps setting up. That's the second batch. I have 2 batches like that. And some of them have holes in the middle. Only the loaf. The loaf on this batch, the other batch was fine, but the loaf on this batch has a hole right in the middle, where I guess because I didn't stir that around in there good and get the air bubble out, and it started setting up maybe with an air bubble in it. I don't know exactly what happened, but I usually take a plastic knife or a chopstick or something and kind of stir in there a little bit to get them good and even and get the air bubbles out. And I didn't do that, so I don't really know for sure if that's the only thing I can figure, is that there was an air bubble right in the middle and it started setting up that way. The rest of them are fine, so I'm just going to use those. I may probably not sell those and use those myself. So I'll probably make another batch maybe tomorrow afternoon and try to get one more batch done. And this time I will stir that and keep that from happening. But anyway, there you go. They have to set up for 30 days. And so I'm real close, right at close to 30 days of the to the picnic to sell these. But they should be fine. And then I'll make some more batches and sell at the girls' shop up here in town. So there you go. That's what they look like. And what I put in mine, I have usually done lard and lye, and then I do tea tree oil, and sometimes I put herbs in them. I have a batch that has some calendula in them. Sometimes I'll put different herbs in them. And this batch just has tea tree oil and Litsea cubiba. So they are very antibacterial and healing, and that's what this batch is. The other batch is tea tree and calendula, and calendula is very good for the skin, healthy for the skin, and then the tea tree oil is antibacterial. So there you go. I'm letting those set up, and then I'll put them in a box. The other batch is already in a wooden crate, and I'll let these sit till probably in the morning. I'll put them in a wooden crate. So there you go, and look up that whole full recipe on the video linked below, and the recipe will be linked below also, will be in the description. So thanks for watching, and give us a thumbs up and a comment and subscribe. And don't forget to watch us live every Friday night at 9 p.m. Central Time.